Save yourself the $1,600 touch-up or whatever and just go get a massive traditional cover-up. Dude, when she was like flashing the tat a little bit, I thought it was a teacup. I go to a traditional artist, have him put a fat outline on that rose. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Caleb from Caleb Will Try It. Let's talk about tattoos. I literally saw this video in my recommended, and it's titled, My $2,100 Single Needle Tattoo 1 Year Later. A 1 year later review of a little thin boy tat? Let's take a look at it, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. Let's go!
It is so hot in here. So, before I get into it, if you're alive and breathing and well, please give this video a thumbs up. It would really make me happy. I haven't been that happy recently.
Okay, first and foremost, I have never in my life heard of Alana Arbucci. She's obviously goes super hard on Instagram. I don't even need to know or see her Instagram to know that she goes hard on Instagram. And she goes pretty freaking hard on YouTube too. She's got 400,000 subs. That's 400 and however many times more than I have. Good for her, man. I dig it. I've just never heard of her.
Sometimes I like to just have the quiet, but sometimes I really want to have music when I'm out.
So we're going to watch her video and check out how bad her micro tattoo, probably no outline tattoo, looks. So 2 minutes and 5 seconds in, we're finally getting to the tattoo. She's got to talk about her depressive breakup and, of course, have her sponsor. I wish I had sponsors.
Definitely check them out. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. So, I got a micro tattoo. It just was like the 1 year anniversary. It was July 18th, 2019.
So this is good. I like this. She is basically going to give a little review of her 1 year old tattoo and a couple of her other tattoos and how they've healed over time. This is perfect. This is awesome. Healing process for tattoos is so complicated, but honestly, people just make it way worse than they need to be. But so far, I've pretty much drawn the fact that she has a micro tattoo from a guy that cost $2,100 freaking dollars. Do you know how much cool tattoos I could get for $2,000? I would be inked up more than I am for another $2,000 of tats.
My first tattoo is not nice at all. Right here, there's barely any ink. And then over here it's super thick. And he put it on my body and I approved it, and like we looked at fonts online. It was all the same thickness. Like it wasn't supposed to be like that.
So she talks about her first tattoo, which says, I believe, love yours. It looks like very small cursive font. She mentions that a spot fell out and that she's having some blowout. The tattoo artist and her picked out a font that was even all the way through, and that she didn't get one that was like obviously blown out, like duh. But this is extremely common. There are so many factors to blowout and falling out and fading. All the way from like needle depth, the healing process, aftercare, if it had a lot of sun exposure, if it had a lot of water exposure, you know, if they were swimming, the type of skin, you name it. There's a ton of factors that could attribute to blowing out, healing, and fading, and lines falling out, a ton of stuff. And you're really actually gambling quite a bit when you just go for that like really tiny script, font in general. You're really taking a gamble on if it's going to blow out or fall out. Honestly, I think some of the greatest tattoo artists in the world, they would probably tell you, you know, you're running the risk that this could even blow out. It just depends. But I can't tell you what kind of tattoo you want to get. If you want to get script, you can get script. Me personally, I mean, look at this hand tattoo. There's definitely some faded lines. There's some blowout. There's some fading in the color in general. But it's so big and obnoxious that you probably can't really tell overall. So that's cool. I mean, I do have like a little scripted B, but the B itself is still fairly large. So, and just kind of that placement on the hand. It actually turned out pretty decent. Yes, you can tell some of the line is faded, but the hand, it really does go through a beating. So, you know, that I knew that was going to happen, and I'm totally fine with it. I think the more a person gets tattooed, the less small, like single-lined script that a person gets, especially with like really small fonts. They usually just don't hold, and if a line falls out or gets blown out, it just really stands out in a bad way. Bold will hold. Go with that philosophy. It's not even philosophy, it's facts. Bold will hold.
I was like, yeah, I paid $50 for it or whatever it was, maybe $80, but maybe that wasn't the smartest decision. Maybe I should have done more research about the place I was going and the specific person that was tattooing me.
So she spent $50 to $80. That seems pretty reasonable. For something as small as that, you're probably just paying the house minimum. That could totally vary. I know some house minimums that are $25, and I know that there's some out there that are probably $150 for a house minimum. I think in general, if you are searching for a tattoo artist, a good rule of thumb is to always just take a look at their healed work. So in this case, taking a look at how their line work has held up over time can tell you if they know how to manage blowouts or fading a little bit better than some newer artists who don't know like depth, or if they don't have a good suggestions for healing process. So you can always take a look at healed tattoos. I think that's just always a good suggestion on if you're looking for a new tattoo artist. Especially if you're looking at something that is black and gray, always take a look at their healed work to see if it stands up over time. Line work is the skeleton of a tattoo. If their line work sucks, the tattoo is going to suck.
So after that, I had 2 more done. And the one over here, I do really like, and it's held up really well. And I think that's because it hasn't been in the sun, obviously, as much as my arm would. Like, this is a darker red, and like it's a lot newer than this. So you would think that like this one faded more. But this one did fade more because it's been in the sun.
All right, next she talks about a couple of her red ink tattoos. And honestly, I think that they're pretty darn good, especially if they're over a year old or if they've had some time. They look really good. Red is a super interesting color. Colors are just interesting, and you kind of have to just figure it out, trial and error. Red, my body takes red extremely well. You can kind of tell with the hand tattoo. I've got this one here too. My body takes red very well, but I've got some friends who red just like does not heal very well. So kind of trial and error with colors, but red is an interesting color. Her body obviously definitely takes red pretty well. I'd say she's pretty spot on with the sun exposure. It is bad. It can cause fading. It can be very troublesome in the healing process. Even after you have the tattoo, you still want to make sure that you take proper precautions, use sunscreen or whatever. So I think that it's good that she's doing her research. She's doing a little bit of figuring out, hey man, Googling is sun exposure bad for tattoos, and kind of just taking those opinions. So I like that she's doing her research. But I think it still all just depends. The one on her ribs looks really good, but it could have still been a very big risk factor to be rubbing against like maybe your clothing or your bra. There was definitely a gamble that it could have turned out worse, but I think it turned out really good. And both the 22 and whatever language on her ribs, they're both extremely thick. They are not single needle lines. They're probably a 5 or a 7. They look super good. They're pretty thick. That's probably why they're holding as well.
So I discovered micro tattooing. A tattoo like this, a normal tattoo, is done with around like 7 needles, I believe. Excuse my pajama pants. And a micro tattoo or a single needle tattoo is obviously a single needle tattoo. It's only 1 needle. So you're able to get a lot finer of a line, a lot more detail that you couldn't get with a regular amount of needles.
So it sounded like she is looking for a new tattoo artist, and she came across micro tattoos, and she wants to get a micro tattoo. Honestly, she's doing her research. She's putting in the work of doing research. Like, good for her. That is super respectable. And honestly, like, good. That's good. That's a really good just practice. Do your research. But yeah, she's pretty spot on. Single line micro tattoos. They use a 1 needle liner. I think my tattoo artist uses maybe like a 5 or a 7. So I've got much thicker lines, so he doesn't have to like go over it a couple times with a single needle liner. So he used a 5 or 7, which is why that outline is so much thicker, which is just something that I prefer. You know why? Because bold will hold. Bold freaking holds. It always holds. Go with bold. That needs to be your philosophy. Bold will hold.
I don't even care what I get. I just want something by this person done on my body. This one has meaning. This one has meaning. This one has meaning. I was like, I just want something pretty, and I want it to look sick.
But yeah, I think it's sick that she researched a dude and decided to get a tattoo by him. That's very cool. It is well within your rights to get a tattoo because you think the art is cool or you think the artist is good. Trust me, you can't have a ton of tattoos and have them all have meaning. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, I would bet that these micro tattoos that are showing on this Instagram page, and I'm not actually familiar with this artist. I live all the way in Montana. Like, I don't do art over in New York, but I have seen examples of micro tattoos, probably from the same artist. But yeah, I would be guessing that these are probably either the same day or the next day that the tattoo was given, maybe after some of the redness and swelling has gone down. But these are all super duper crisp, definitely not taken over a year or 2 years or fully healed. These are right away. Straight up does not matter if you're a celebrity tattoo artist. Honestly, go look at some celebrity tattoos. They're garbage. They don't do their research. They don't look at the artist they want to get. So just because you tattoo celebs doesn't make you like an ink master. It just means that you probably charge a freaking buttload for tattoos.
And I actually was going to go to this place in Connecticut that was like $100 an hour. But I chose to go to the place that was like $1,600 an hour. and it ended up being $2,100. So
$1,600 freaking dollars an hour. That is absurdity. I think I don't even know what my artist's hourly wage is, but the highest that I can think in Montana, maybe like 75 an hour, maybe 100 an hour, $1,600 a freaking hour. I could get so much cool stuff for $1,600. I would get, oh my gosh, dude, $1,600 an hour is insane. So overall, it cost her $2,100. My mind can't even wrap around that.
I'm gonna go get a touch-up soon, which the artist will look at your tattoo after it's been a year and will assess if you need a touch-up. If you do need one, and if it will take an hour or less, it's free. So I was kind of freaking out. I'm just thinking, like, it's not gonna be free, the touch-up, for the rest of my life. Like, am I gonna have to spend $2,000 every year?
Geez, you better hope you don't get a freaking giant tattoo from this guy. Less than 1 hour touch-up is free. So if you have a massive, at this rate, like $34,000 tattoo and you need to go in for a touch-up, you're freaking screwed, man. You are screwed. I only have one tattoo artist, and he's actually really cool. Our relationship is awesome. But when he does a touch-up, and he does free touch-ups for other people, but whenever I get a new tattoo, he just takes a look at some of the old ones, and he's like, I'm just going to hit that up real quick and maybe fix a line or add to if something fell out. So that's the kind of the relationship I have. It's pretty nice. We haven't actually seen this tattoo up close yet. If it's as tiny as I think it's going to be, here's my advice, man. Don't get it touched up. Just go get a massive cover-up, a massive traditional cover-up, one of those giant, like, under-breast epic things. Like, just go get one of those. Like, save yourself the $1,600 touch-up or whatever, and just go get a massive traditional cover-up. Bold will hold.
Honestly, was not painful. Was really expecting it to be painful because every time I watch someone talk about getting a tattoo here, they said that it hurt so bad.
Women are seriously so freaking strong. I was shaking when I was getting my stomach tattooed. Like, my body was out of adrenaline and I was like going into shock. It was so bad. Bless women and their pain tolerance. They're legends. You ladies are legends.
The thing that bothered me the most was that I had to pee the whole time I was getting it done, and he was leaning on my stomach. Like, his arm was here and he was, and I was like, oh, I don't want to tell him that I have to pee because I don't want to mess up the groove. Like, he's grooving.
Yeah, if you have to pee, just let him know. Let him know. This is just proof that you haven't had more than like a 3-hour sesh or a couple hours sesh. I had to find an artist who had to take smoke breaks just because I'm such a wuss that I need the, like, break. So, you know what, dude? Just tell him you got to take a piss.
I was scared to even breathe. Like, I was like, so like, this is a micro needle tattoo. It's one needle. Like, if I breathe a little bit, it could mess it up.
When I was getting my chest and stomach done, that was something that I overthought a lot as well, was breathing. But honestly, my tattoos are so big and obnoxious that, like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if a line is out of place. Go ahead. You can tell me. Tell me that one of those lines is misplaced. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's so big and obnoxious anyway. But I can tell, like, it's a valid worry. It's a valid thought that, she could be overthinking about breathing. That's probably pretty good. Honestly, the thing that scared me the most was, like, getting my chest tattooed and his hand had to rest, like, on my neck. I felt like I couldn't, like, breathe. It was so sketch. I hated it. I hate getting tattooed more than anything, but I love tattoos. It's such a double-edged sword.
A lot of you guys were like, why did you just waste your money, like $2,000 on a tattoo that's going to fade? And I was like, what? You're just hating. Like, it's not going to fade. Like, why would you even say that?
Give your commenters some credit. No outlines, and it cost you over $2,000. Like, that should just be illegal in itself.
This is the day I got it done, or like recently after getting it done. Does it look bad from here? I don't know why. Like, in the picture it looks bad, but in person, from this view at least, it doesn't. So, I don't know.
Dude, when she was, like, flashing the tat a little bit, I thought it was a teacup. I thought it was a teacup with, like, the stem was, like, some dripping water or something. I did not think it was a rose. I'm so sorry. Here's the thing, man. Getting tattooed is such a learning experience. Learning how your body heals, learning how your body takes different inks, different line work, how does it, manage the tattoos, is just such a learning experience. So I really can't fault her that much. She has, 4 tattoos, so I'm not going to crush her about anything. If anything, you should be crushing me. I got my first tattoo done by a 15-year-old in her kitchen. Like, she's a really talented artist now, but back then she was just getting started and it wasn't safe or sanitary, and I just don't care. It makes a hilarious story, and it's all about the journey. Personally, I have no idea how micro tattoos even got so popular. No outlines, like, you're nuts, man. It's just facts. Bold will hold. Honestly, man, good for people for capitalizing up on these extremely stupid tattoo trends. Like, good for them. They're the ones who in 5 years are going to be laughing at everybody's, like, little freaking tattoos that are roses that look like teacups. They're the ones who got the final laugh. And they're going to make so much money on it. So I don't even want to know how much money this tattoo artist makes at $1,600 an hour. I have lines that blew out. I have lines that faded. It's just all part of getting tatted, man. We all know. You guys know what it's like. Stick to the bold will hold philosophy. It's not even a philosophy. It's facts. It's tattoo 101. Bold will hold. You think our kids are going to be getting tatted in however many years and be like, you know what, man? Freaking watercolor tattoos were so cool. No, they're going to be thinking traditional is still awesome and bold will hold. But I really don't have anything to say bad about her. I can't even hate her too much. She's learning. You know, if you have like less than 3 tattoos, you're still learning about tattoos. You're still learning about how your body handles them. If anything, I'm proud of her for doing her research. You know, she's living and learning. It's about the journey. It's about the story. You know what I think is super hard about tats? Like not hard, but like just hard, like hardcore, is when you can stop saying like, how many tattoos do you have? Oh, I have 4 tattoos. But you can like answer in hours. Like I've got 80 hours. I don't know how many. I just like 80 hours. I think that's super hard. Is that the hardest thing you've ever heard? It is for me, man. You can fight me. I don't care. But anyways, yeah, dude, I agree with her. Micro tattoos, they're garbage. Don't get them. They suck. No outline. They look super fancy when they're getting taken. But even the day you get them, someone across the room is going to be like, I can't even tell what that is. So don't even get micro tattoos. Just get a big tattoo. Big bold one. Bold will hold. No, I can't tell you what to get. I just personally think that, yeah, micro tattoos, those single lines, no outlines, they're just not going to hold. It's proven. It's facts that they are not going to hold up over time. Look at her 1 year difference. That is insane. 1 year difference. It's horrible. It is terrible that it faded that much. And it's sad. Honestly, go to a traditional artist. Have them put a fat outline on that rose. But let me know what you guys thought. Thank you guys so much. I just am out of video ideas. I just thought I would do a little bit of a review on this video I saw and I recommended. I think this girl is pretty gnarly. I was right about the Instagram model. She's got like 100,000 followers. That's like 100,000 more than I have. And she's got 400,000 more freaking YouTube subs than I have. So good for her, man. She's a beast. She's learning about tattoos. I can't fault her. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram. Gosh, dude, I'd like to get verified someday. That'd be sick. Anyways, thank you guys again. We'll catch you on the next video.